Time now for Fantasy Football Weekly from iHeartRadio, your weekly source for the nation's best fantasy speculation and advice. Now, along with the guys from GuillotineLeagues.com, here's your host, Paul Charchian.
Hello and welcome to a live edition of Fantasy Football Weekly. All right. Wow. We are live at Treasure Island Resort and Casino. It is fantastic to be here in front of so many of our fans. With me is the full Fantasy Football Weekly crew. And let me introduce you. You'd know them by voice. You don't necessarily know them by face. At the far end, a man whose non-consensual love for Sam Darnold runs so deep, his restraining order does not allow him within 100 miles of Puget Sound, Brian Johnson.
What up, what up? I hope you hear me, Sam. I love you.
Next to Brian, a man who is so new, so green to this show, he's actually contracted genital leprosy, Kent Wyrock.
Actually, I'm just Scott Fish with a lot of hair.
Scott Fish with a lot of hair. I
I
like the sound of that. To my immediate left, a man so deep in J.J. McCarthy's jock, he can give you J.J.'s PSA score to 15 digits. Thor Nystrom. You want to turn your mic?
Boo.
There you go.
Do you guys actually want that?
And a man currently triple dipping government benefits under the names of Matt Harrison, Dieter von Forstengoat, and Colin McCockney.
That's not
it's
me.
Matt Harrison.
That's not me at all.
No.
He's always in the other room. We bring him out. I
always
just
in
go
the other
get him.
Right, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean you can't get the Social Security benefits
No, they're
of Colin McCockney.
they're illegal aliens and foreigners. They don't get those benefits.
Never here. No,
No.
certainly not. We have so much fun stuff to get to. We are going to agree to disagree on 6 different players. You'll find out who they are and give you 2 sides of that story. We're going to talk through some of the vacated targets that teams have. We're going to talk about where's the perfect spot to draft from in the first round and the subsequent players you can get after that, and help you determine where in the first round do you want to be, and you, the audience, will get to make the ultimate determination on the best spot for that. We'll give you some data around that. At the end of the show, we will have our sleepers. We will have our 3 tough questions, but also, you know what's coming. Every year at the Fantasy Football Training Camp, we give you the reacharound. Hey. That's right. We will give you 10 players with whom you should reach 1 round ahead to get on your team.
Did I hear Fonzie? What does Fonzie have to do with the reach around?
Hey.
I didn't do the fantasy Fonzie yet, but I left the lagoon just for the reach around segment.
Oh, okay.
That's why I am here.
Outstanding.
Note the wristband at the lagoon at lovely Treasure Island Resort and Casino.
Yes.
The happiest place on earth where we are.
Brian's in the kiddie pool again.
This is a segment.
Harrison, don't get me started, man.
All right, let's jump into agree to disagree. And then at the end of each one of these, you, the audience, will get to decide who won the head-to-head battle between co-hosts. Our first player with whom we agree to disagree is Jordan Addison, Minnesota Viking. We begin with Brian Johnson. Which side of the coin are you on?
I guess I'm playing bad cop with Jordan Addison. There's been a few of those in his career, so he'll be missing the first 3 games, as we all know. So that's not good for old J.A. Then the Vikings have a bye in Week 6, so you get 2 games out of Jordan Addison in the first 6 weeks. One of them against the Steelers. That's kind of a stopper matchup almost for most players. And then the Vikings get the Eagles coming out of their bye week in Week 7. So a brutal start for Addison. I'm going to get into J.J. McCarthy with Thor in a little bit. That's going to go over great for me, I'm sure. But who has 0 experience against starting caliber players,
Save your
by
ammo.
the way.
Save your ammo for that one.
You're just
I will.
poo-pooing Vikings today?
But
Wow.
I'm worried to be sitting in the
I'm
middle of
out
that
on
one.
Addison. Dynasty, sure. Redraft, nope. Not for me this year.
I'll try to make the case for Jordan Addison. You already know this, most of you that are listening, many times young receivers break out in year number 3. Well, Jordan Addison's ahead of the curve. He broke out last year. Last year, in the second half of the season, Jordan Addison was wide receiver 18. That is wide receiver 2 on your roster, and he has already done it. I just heard Dwayne McFarland's new podcast, and he talked about how year 2 receivers who are already a wide receiver 2, so if you're a sophomore receiver like Addison was last year, and you're already a wide receiver 2, 64% of the time you improve on that showing in your 3rd year. Addison likely to get better here. He's only 23 years old, Jordan Addison. Emeka Egbuka, coming into this year as a rookie, is 6 months younger. That's it. That's how young this kid is. He's going to get better. You're going to take your lumps in those first 3 weeks, but for the rest of the year, you've got what should be a good prospect. All right, everybody. You have to make noise. You can't just nod or anything. If you think Brian is correct to avoid Jordan Addison, make some noise.
Ooh, more than I thought.
If you are on my side with Jordan Addison and you think you should draft him, make some noise.
Yeah.
All right, that
Wow.
sounds like a win
Weird.
for
Charge
Paul.
wins.
Well done. Okay, let's go to our next agree to disagree, and it is Kansas City wide receiver Xavier Worthy, and we begin with Kent.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and kick this off and say that Xavier Worthy is a really cool, fun player to watch. But if you're going to try and rely on him on a weekly basis, you're going to run into some problems. He had 8 games with 3 or fewer receptions last year, 10 games with fewer than 50 receiving yards, and Rashee Rice was missing the majority of that season. He's 75th out of 110 wide receivers in PFF receiving grade last year. Not a great look. And 42% of his targets are either deep balls or behind the line of scrimmage. He might not be like a gadget guy totally, but he's sort of kind of like a gadget guy, and it's not going to improve much this year, I don't think.
All right, Thor, let's take the other side of it. Xavier Worthy, make your case for him.
Can I get this thing?
Well, you could just hold the whole mic stand right to your mouth.
I
if
think
you
that
want.
means
or
guards
you
are,
could
actually.
you move yourself to the mic. There is that option as well.
Is this on now?
Yeah.
Okay, you
It
guys
is.
can hear me. I'm pro. I like Xavier Worthy this year. So Xavier Worthy down the stretch last year, and then you include it to the playoffs, went off. It was 12 TDs if you count the playoffs, but 10 of those came over the final 8 games. Like if you in the finale, the Chiefs played the Broncos, didn't play any of their starters. You toss that out. I think it was the last 5 regular season games. Then there were 3 playoff games. Ends up having 10 touchdowns. You saw the manufactured touches for Xavier Worthy, which evoked Tyreek Hill, like the usage. I don't believe he's Tyreek Hill, but he's an amalgamation of that for that offense. Ended up having 20 carries last year. You see the jet sweeps with him. Rashee Rice obviously coming off the injury, and then Rashee Rice is going to be suspended in, late September, early October. So it could be a slow acclimation for him. Travis Kelce slowing down. Xavier Worthy is going to get a ton of touches this year. Pro Xavier Worthy.
All right, let's see what you think and who won this battle. Are you in Kent's side and you're anti-Xavier Worthy? Okay, and are you on Thor's side and you're pro-Xavier Worthy? That is a win for Thor. Let's go to our next player, and that is Garrett Wilson. I'm up again for this one.
Yeah, you are.
It is Matt versus Charch. We've been starting with antis, so
Sure.
I am anti Garrett Wilson. I'll try to make my case here, and it goes like this: he's a good player. He's in a horrible situation, and there's a lot of things that worry me about the Jets' offense. First, they got a brand new offensive coordinator named Tanner Engstrand. The reason you don't know anything about Tanner Engstrand is because he hasn't done anything. His only play calling duties were in the XFL. He was the passing game coordinator for the Lions. I don't know. I mean, that's like the 4th person removed from the head coach, right? Wilson is going to get no help from the other receivers on the team, and I even challenge you to name a Jets receiver on the team right now. Alan Lazard, somebody got correct. Little Josh Reynolds mixed in. Tyler Johnson, Gopher fans. Also on that roster right now,
No Malachi Corley love over there?
there is no Malachi Corley. Thor got that right last year. He knew that guy was not going to work out, and he's not going to. Some defenses are going to face the Jets in that passing game and simply say, we're going to take Garrett Wilson away and make you beat us with Alan Lazard, and they'll take their chances. Justin Fields also not an aerial volume passer. Last year in those 6 games as the Steelers starter, his number 1 receiver, George Pickens, wide receiver 46. through
George
those
Pickens
6
isn't
weeks.
good, Charch.
Garrett Wilson is better than George Pickens.
That's
but I
right.
don't know if he's good enough. All right, make your case, Matt, for Garrett Wilson.
Well, if you heard last week's show, I said Garrett Wilson's going to finish as a top 5 wide receiver, so we got that going for us. But there's only 8 wide receivers who have topped 1,000 yards in each of the last 3 seasons. 3 of them are age 29 or older. That's McLaurin, Devontae, and Mike Evans. 4 of them are first-round picks, Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And the other one is Garrett Wilson, who's currently going off as a 3rd-rounder. And Wilson has dealt with hot, flaming garbage as his quarterbacks for the last 3 years. Zach Wilson, 39-year-old Joe Flacco, Mike White, Trevor Siemian, and 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Justin Fields is the best quarterback he's ever had. And by the way, these two played together at Ohio State for 2 seasons. There's already that built-in chemistry. In Fields' last full season as a starter, DJ Moore was the 6th best wide receiver in PPR leagues. He had almost 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns on a Bears team that had no idea what they were doing offensively. This is the best offensive line that Fields has ever played behind with the best receiver he's ever had. And there's vacated targets all over the place with Adams gone, and there's no competition for touches. Garrett Wilson's going to be awesome this year.
Don't steal my vacated targets
Okay,
intel
fine.
that's coming in a few minutes here. Preview. All right. For those of you that do not want Garrett Wilson on your team, if you're on my side, make some noise. All right. Those of you that are ready to go to war with Garrett Wilson, let's hear
Go.
it.
Oh,
You are the winner, Matt.
I think I defeated you.
You
but
did?
It's been the pro every time.
Well,
It's really
we're
hard to
very
argue
It's
against.
a very optimistic
Yeah, you
group
guys are
out here,
really
no
nice
doubt.
people.
No doubt. All right, let's go to our next head-to-head battle. And this is going to be a doozy right here.
Whoa.
Have you heard of J.J. McCarthy? Let's first hear the anti-McCarthy slander coming from Brian Johnson.
All right, everyone.
Starting.
This
You already
is
lost,
a
Brian.
fantasy football show. The reality football show down the hall. We're talking numbers here. We want points, stats. Yeah, bring it on, buddy. I'm a best ball degenerate. I've done 400 drafts so far since January. J.J. McCarthy is the 4th highest owned quarterback I've drafted. I believe in him, but the price tag getting way too steep at quarterback 12 right now. We already touched on the Jordan Addison stuff. That's not going to help him by any means. And look, J.J. McCarthy has 0 experience in the NFL. I'm not saying he's going to be bad, Thor. I can see him steaming right now. But the identity of this Vikings team is its defense and his run game. They're not going to rely on J.J. McCarthy. He is way too costly at the QB 13, 14 range. Give me later value. Bryce Young, my boy. Geno Smith. Cam Ward.
This seems like
Sam Darnold will all outscore J.J. McCarthy this year in fantasy. Put it on wax. And by the way, the Vikings will never win 14 games ever again.
Wow.
Under
Why are you
Kevin
going
O'Connell,
scorched earth on
I
this
will
audience
take,
right
I will
now?
take
butthurt
bets
about
from
Sam
anyone
Darnold
in
not
this
being the
audience.
QB.
The
Wow.
Vikings will not win 14 games.
No one better
Under-
clap for him right now.
Oh, I'm not going to
single
get any.
person.
I'm getting my money's worth here.
Complete
The end.
silence
You
when
go, Thor.
Brian comes up for a
Right.
vote here.
All right, Thor, it is time for a stirring rebuttal.
Well, before he went into the nonsense at the end there, I think he was trying to say McCarthy is 12th ADP quarterback. Well, where are you getting your data, first off? I'm seeing 19.
Well, that the ADP is correcting. If you do a draft, he's going like 13, 14 right now.
In the last one you did, or on documented ADP?
Well, I did like 7 today. Yeah,
Okay.
but trust me. You can have to trust me here. But
So in the draft range that he actually goes, which is like QB 17, 18, 19, he's still a tremendous value. But since you said QB 12, I got stats for you since you want to play real football. Kevin O'Connell, 2 seasons with Kirk Cousins, QB12, QB5. Sam Darnold, your boy, last year, QB7 in fantasy. So every year, Kevin O'Connell has had top 12 quarterbacks. McCarthy is going to add a rushing element that O'Connell's offense has never seen before. You're going to see him used around the goal line, use his legs. They're already doing this in practice. They obviously fixed the interior offensive line. Then you have Jordan Mason there. But they're doing stuff off of that where, give it to Mason, give it to Mason. Now we're going to fake it and pull it around the side. Seeing this in practice, the bootleg concepts, he's going to steal some touchdowns with his legs. Kevin O'Connell's never not had a 4,000-yard passing team in any of his years calling plays. McCarthy's one of the more talented quarterbacks he's ever worked with. He's got a bazooka for an arm, was 1 mile per hour off the max velo NFL Combine record, high 4.4 speed. He had the 6th fastest 3-cone at the NFL Combine, irregardless of position in 2024. He's going to have a big seat. Obviously, the supporting cast and Kevin O'Connell as a coach, I think he's going to be a top 12 quarterback, but a good value on the QB 17-18 that he actually.
This is not
We
going to
shall
take very
see,
long.
Thor. But by the way,
More?
Sam Darnold, a better athlete than J.J. McCarthy, could have played college basketball.
Stop.
Oh, without a doubt.
We can't do the whole show.
Okay,
just
sorry.
this
I'm
one.
done.
Agree
I'm
to
done.
disagree.
Trying to say lead-footed Sam Darnold's a better athlete than J.J. McCarthy. Get out of here.
All day long.
All
And
right.
he probably beat him up, too,
Let's
if
put
you want.
let's put an end to this. Those of you on the anti-J.J. McCarthy for fantasy, make some noise. Also, that's the number of Packer fans that we have in attendance.
It was a Packer hat.
Those of you that are on the pro-JJ side,
A rousing victory.
our final agree to disagree is a face-off between Matt and Kent. Who's on the anti-side of this one?
That's me.
All right, Matt, let's have you go first. Make your case against Alvin Kamara.
30-year-old Alvin Kamara is about to start his 9th season in the league. In his first full year, he played all 16 games. And I had both him and Adrian Peterson on a roster together. But in the next 7 seasons, he has not played a full season. He has never topped 1,000 rushing yards in a season. Look it up.
Really?
He's never done it.
That's shocking.
He has not topped 4.2 yards per carry, which isn't great,
No.
in 4 straight years. And he's been limited to 4, 6, and 8 total touchdowns in the last 3 seasons. It's a new scheme, a new coaching staff. The QB situation is probably the worst in the league with Spencer Rattler or Aw Shucks.
Aw, shucks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Aw Shucks, I got to start him.
That's, we've got a lot of nicknames on this show for players over the year.
Yeah.
I like
Aw Shucks was on 3 college teams, by the way. There's just too many red flags for me to draft him, even in the 5th round, which is about where he's going right now. There's other upside available in drafts right there. No
All
thanks.
right. Kent, we need a short rebuttal here to keep us on time.
Yeah, before the show, you guys are touting your experience and how long you've been doing this for. Well, I think Alvin Kamara has experience that he's going to bring to the table. And you talk about rushing yards. How about more than 1,100 scrimmage yards every single season he's been in the league with all that experience? He averaged a running back 6 points per game last year when he was playing. So he's going to do that again this year with whatever quarterback is going to be in. Rattler doesn't care. He was going to have, he was averaging over 20 attempts per game, 10 attempts and 9 targets per game with Spencer Rattler last year. He's going to do it again with whoever's starting, does not matter. Go Alvin Kamara.
All right, let's hear what you think. Who wins this agree to disagree? If you are on the anti-Alvin Kamara side, make some noise. And if you're on the pro-Alvin Kamara side, Matt, I believe you have gone 2-0.
Sweep.
And you are the winner of Agree to Disagree.
Thor, did you go 2-0? We'll have
Thor,
to do one
oh,
later.
well, maybe, maybe
It's a
we'll do it.
co-title.
All right.
2 with
fine.
an asterisk.
Yeah, well done, guys. Well done. When we come back, vacated targets. Find out which teams have the most available targets for somebody new to get. What are the teams and who are the players that can most benefit? Coming up next, Fantasy Football Weekly live from Treasure Island Resort and Casino. All right. Now, the great news is we don't actually have to sit through our commercial breaks, but we're going to give away free stuff on every break. And that is good news. If you haven't put your name in the hopper, be sure to do that. I think most of you probably did. It's front and center when you came in. Our KFAN iHeart crew is in the back. You'll be drawing names, correct? Okay. Do we need to get a mic for them back there? That's okay. You want to just bring up pick a name and bring it up, please? That would be great. This is for tickets to Bill Engvall. It is September 5th. That's soon. September 5th, 2 tickets. Free tickets to Bill Engvall. I've got a little info on Bill, I think, right here. Do I?
Let's go,
yeah,
Bill.
I do.
Hey, Eric, can you come up and see me from Eric's Canoe and Kayak real quick? Sorry to interrupt, Church.
Sorry, what's that?
PA announcement. I need Eric from Eric's Canoe and Kayak to come and see me. That's all.
Thank you very much. This is for Bill Engvall. It's not a joke. Bill Engvall's coming to Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Even though he retired from stand-up, the blue-collar comedy tour icon, actor, and writer couldn't stay away from the stage for too long, so he is back Friday, September 5th. And if you are Jack Cole, you are going for free. Jack, come on up here. Now, it's a mixed blessing for Jack. This means he's not getting the $1,000 giveaway at the end. And, yeah, thank you, Jack. Congratulations. And let me note, you have to be here to win any of these. So you're going to have to stick it out to the very end, even if you hate the whole production, to get the $1,000. All right. We ready to move on? I think so. Robbie? Okay. What's that? Pretty fast. Welcome back to a live edition of Fantasy Football Weekly. This segment is devoted to vacated targets. We're going to talk about the 5 teams that have the most available targets and who can fill that vacuum and perhaps get a lot more usage this year than last year. We begin with the 5th most vacated targets, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. 212 available targets for this team. Notable departures are Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, and I don't know if Gabe Davis really counts, but he was next on the list of targeted players.
I still think the Dan Arnold departure from the Jaguars is still notable from a couple of years ago.
That's right.
It still hurts me.
Big void for them. They haven't recovered from fully.
My heart has not recovered fully.
Yes. So who's going to benefit? Well, obviously, Travis Hunter will benefit. You can see his picture here if you are in person. He will get a lot of the 212, but obviously not 212, but he could get 100 of the 212, maybe more. Brenton Strange is a popular second tight end that people could add.
I just hope that every time he catches a pass, they play just Strange Days, just a snippet from the Doors every time he catches a pass. That's all I want.
When you're strange.
That's the song,
Brenton
but
Strange.
you
There
don't
you
sound
go.
like Jim Morrison.
It's not quite.
Trying.
And you're far more sober.
I trying.
Sorry to interrupt. Love Brenton Strange,
I like it.
though.
If you're in a deep league, Diami Brown is an interesting dude. He's had a great camp. He finally did a little something at the end of last year for the first time in his entire career in Washington, and then leaves, and he might actually be an okay deep stash. There's your 3 players that could benefit in Jacksonville. Let's go to our next team. The 4th most vacated targets are the New York Jets. Somebody mentioned this earlier. So your available targets here are 214. Your notable departures are Devontae Adams, Tyler Conklin, and there was nobody else. I'm like, that team didn't bother throwing to anybody else except maybe a little Alan Lazard. He's still on the team. So who's your benefit?
Garrett Wilson.
Nobody's your benefit. There's no help here. We're not drafting Alan Lazard.
I already won this
Josh
argument, Charch.
Robinson. Garrett Wilson was already peppered with targets. Maybe he gets a few more here. But he didn't get enough last year because Devontae Adams was gone. Yeah, so I think you might be right about that. All right.
Going to lead or be second. Garrett Wilson will lead the Jets in catches, but Mason Taylor is going to be your second leading receiver.
You're calling
for the
your shot
Jets,
right now?
If not,
right.
Brees Hall. Yeah, tight end, Mason Taylor.
All right, I'll believe
You like
it.
Mason Taylor, Thor?
I don't think Thor's a big fan.
Or he doesn't catch the ball down the field. He can paper cut you, but Justin Fields never really thrown to tight ends, and he's not good anticipatory thrower, and that's what Mason Taylor did with Nussmeier at LSU. So I don't know.
All right.
I love it when we
I
put a
still
quarter
like
in Thor and he just goes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It makes me wonder how we did the show for like 29 years without Thor. Your third team with third most vacated targets, the Los Angeles Rams, with 215. Your notable departures are Cooper Kupp, Demarcus Robinson, and Tyler Johnson, 1, 2, and 3 in targets. So the beneficiaries are Devontae Adams, who we just referenced with the Jets, who is now obviously with the Rams and will get a lot of targets. Jordan Whittington, kind of an interesting deep stash if for those in deeper leagues, if you want to try the third option on this team. And then Tutu Atwell doesn't do a lot for me. You know, you get like one great play a month, and that's very unpredictable. Whittington, I think, is going to get a little more time than he got last year. Potential deep stash there.
More like 1-1 Atwell.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. The team with the next most vacated targets, and it's a big jump up, the number 2 team, Cleveland Browns, 235 vacated targets. Your notable departures, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Jordan Atkins. This surprised me because I didn't think the Browns would have that many available targets. They did. Your beneficiaries, and I'm interested in all 3 of these players. I think they're all being underdrafted. Jerry Jeudy, who came on strong once Deshaun Watson got off the team. He was very good. Cedric Tillman is a big-bodied young player. You can see the picture of him right here if you're those of us that are in attendance. And David Njoku is one of my favorite tight ends to outperform his ADP. Love Njoku this year, and we may even talk about him a little bit later.
Yeah, Browns super sneaky, the pass game. They were top 5 in passing play percentage last year. They were throwing the ball like 65% of the time. And if you're in a deep, deep league, Deontay Johnson, you never know if he, going into last year, he was going in the first 8 rounds. You know, he refines his mojo.
Kevin Stefanski is a really good coach when he doesn't have to have Deshaun Watson as his quarterback. All right, let's go to the team with the most vacated targets, and that is the Seattle Seahawks. 235 available targets. DK Metcalf gone, Tyler Lockett gone. They had been the mainstays there forever. Noah Fant never quite panned out. So who benefits? Cooper. I don't think it is Cooper Kupp. Immediately seems like the obvious choice, but Cooper Kupp plays the slot. So does Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's way better at this stage of their respective careers. That's an issue. Then there's Torrey Horton, the round 5 rookie, Thor. Talk to me about, I think he could be a starter as early as week 1, but you would know better than me about his game. Tell people a little bit about Torrey Horton.
Yeah, Torrey Horton can play. He had a ton of catches at Colorado State. He could have gone up to the Power 4 last offseason. He turned down a whole bunch of bags of money in NIL to stay at Colorado State, but he got injured halfway through the season. And those two things in conjunction is why he ended up falling down in the draft. He's on the skinny side as well, but he's productive. He's a boundary receiver. He gets off the line. Seattle, their top 2 receivers, as you guys know, are slot receivers or better in this slot. Cooper Kupp should not be playing on the boundary at this point, period. So, you know, as far as boundary receivers, Horton is already one of the best guys on their roster at that. They're going to play a lot of 2 tight ends. But when they need a boundary receiver out there, I agree he could get on the field real early.
And then there's tight end Elijah Arroyo, who has gotten a lot of attention, Thor. Give me just 20 seconds on him, if you would.
I'm not good at staying to 20 seconds, but Elijah Arroyo he's a big athletic seam stretcher. That's what he's good at, is going downtown. And then in the red zone, he's not going to block for you, but we don't really care about that for fantasy purposes.
All right, I like it.
And real quick, the Seahawks actually kind of consider A.J. Barner to be their number 1 tight end. Right now, that could change in time, obviously. This is a high-drafted rookie.
Yeah, and Barner's a blocking tight end
maybe,
almost entirely.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's coach talk. Draft Elijah Arroyo, my sleeper last week. Thank me later.
That is a deal.
He's going to pay off big time.
All right, Ken, I'm going to let you take over. Oh, that's right. I had some bonus Seahawks stuff for you. They've got 2,700 vacated air yards. 2,700. That is 600 more than the next closest team. That's how big the void is, the vacuum is in Seattle. Somebody's going to fill that. Maybe it's somebody from your team. All right.
Got an elite quarterback.
and they've got an elite quarterback in
Here we
Sam
go.
Kent, take us through vacated targets.
Darn
Excuse
right,
me,
here
touches,
we go.
if you would.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about running back targets, but not too much. Most of the stuff we're going to be doing is looking at the rushing attempts that have been lost and then who's going to soak them up. So first up, I'm going top to bottom. You went 5 to 1.
Yep,
I'm
I went
going
5 to 1.
1 to 5.
Okay,
We'll
all
go
right.
inside out like that. But the Los Angeles Chargers lost J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards last year, who combined for 383 rush attempts and a handful of targets. They signed Najee Harris to a 1-year, $5.3 million, fully guaranteed deal, which is actually the 21st highest running back in the league right now, surprisingly. And then they drafted, obviously, Omarion Hampton from UNC, who 22nd overall, 4,200 scrimmage yards, 40 total touchdowns the last 3 years with UNC. Very explosive. He's going to soak up a majority of this. And, obviously the stuff that's going on with Najee Harris and his eye is a mystery to all of us right now. But the only thing that could bail him out is if you hit the button there, Chargers. If he shows up with a Nick Fury
there you
eye
go.
patch,
I like that.
and then he might take the job on vibes alone. But this is mostly going to be Omarion Hampton, the rookie, coming in and taking all those touches. Up at number 2, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost Najee Harris, so we'll go ahead and flip the script there. 271 rush attempts, 48 targets. This is one that's a little more confusing. Jalen Warren's the incumbent here, but he's not really your full 3-down back type of guy. Caleb Johnson comes in as more of a thumper. And then they have Kenneth Gainwell, who they signed as well, who's probably going to soak up some of those targets as well. So it's going to limit the upside of any of these 3 options. My personal choice is that Jalen Warren's going to be the beneficiary early in the season, and then Caleb Johnson down the stretch, if Rodgers can carry this Steelers offense, could garner some touchdown potential down the road.
All right, number 3 team.
The Dallas Cowboys, they have 238 rush attempts and 51 targets that were vacated last year from Rico Dowdle and somehow Ezekiel Elliott.
Right.
89 of those
Forgot he was there.
opportunities.
Yeah.
I erased that from my memory personally, but they signed Javonte Williams to a $3 million deal 1 year, pretty much nothing. He had terrible metrics last year. Second worst rushing over expectation. 4th worst success rate, 3rd worst yards after contact per attempt. He's washed. I don't think he's going to be the guy who's soaking up a lot of this potential. They signed Miles Sanders, who apparently looks even better than him at camp, which is not a high bar to get past. But they drafted Jadon Blue out of Texas in the 5th round, who was looking promising, but now he's got an ankle bruise. So my answer to who benefits from this situation is woof.
Everybody who avoids the Cowboys benefits.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Javonte is probably going to be like a flex consideration most weeks with low floor until Jadon Blue gets healthy, and then maybe his talent causes him to break out. But that's a long shot at this point, I think.
All right,
Miles Sanders is an easy click at his price tag. He's
you
take the cheapest running back in this situation.
It's an
and,
easy click. It's
yeah.
less easy of a production.
Well, I mean, he's your RB 5, but he's a good depth choice in my opinion.
All right, the team with the 4th most vacated touches.
Number 4, this is the Las Vegas Raiders, 199 rush attempts, 94 targets, so it's actually kind of nice to see that there's some target potential there, which has more fantasy value. Their departures were Alexander Madison and Amir Abdullah, which, again, how did they combine for that many touches on the Raiders last year? But obviously the beneficiary here is Ashton Genty, the awesome rookie who's coming in. Yes, even with his negative 0.3 yards per carry in the preseason game just last week. He's awesome. He's going to be coming in and crushing right away. I'm not at all worried about what he did in that preseason game.
All right, and our final team is the Denver Broncos with the 5th most vacated targets.
Yeah, and this one,
Touches.
again, is a little bit tougher. It's right down the middle between these two guys for the most part. We have 145 rush attempts, 70 targets. The departure here that caused all that was Javonte Williams, which we just talked about how horrible he was. I think both these guys are going to have an opportunity to be better than him, and which one it is going to be is the question. I'm going to hang my hat on J.K. Dobbins, though, actually. Even though R.J. Harvey out of UCF had 4,500 scrimmage yards, 47 total touchdowns the last 3 years, he's 24 years old. He was a quarterback convert from Virginia, transfer portal, ACL tear in 2021. He's kind of had a rocky road in his college career. And J.K. Dobbins started last year pretty strong and trailed down the stretch, but he's still got some pretty good efficiency metrics. And I think that Sean Payton's rookie treatment is going to hold back R.J. Harvey a little bit early in the season. So I'm going with J.K. Dobbins here for the most part.
All right, coming up next after the break, we will look at the perfect start. Where in the first round do you want to go? We'll show you the players who go in the first 4 rounds from all the different parts of the first round. The beginning, the early middle, the late middle, the end. And you can help us decide and ultimately vote for where in the first round is the best place to draft from. Coming up next on Fantasy Football Weekly, live from Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Okay. Sounds good. Hey, should we give away some tickets? Let's do it. Who here knows what Gabriel Iglesias' nickname is? I had no idea. Fluffy, you say. Let's give away a pair of tickets to Fluffy. Let's run up a name. Gabriel, and the date on this, by the way, September 7th. They got a lot of big names coming here. Holy cow. The winner of tickets to see Fluffy, Tom LaFleur. Tom, there you are, back there. All right, yeah, it's fine. You don't have to drop your hot dog. Come on, you can just come up here and grab those. I think we've got more. Do I have more tickets than I have segments? Maybe we could do a couple. Let's do another one. Fluffy Part 2. There you go, right there. Congratulations, Tom. Let's draw one more name, ladies, if you wouldn't mind. Again, these are tickets to go see Gabriel Iglesias. Did you know that you can brace yourself for nonstop laughter because he's returning to Treasure Island for 2 hilarious shows? That's a fact right there. And let's see who's going to win these. Thank you. This one is Paul Carrillo. Carrillo? He went to the bathroom. Oh, what do you think? I don't know. Yeah, all right. We'll hold it for Paul. Are you Paul? We're talking about you. Oh, you're back from the bathroom. You want to tell us all about it? See how'd it go? Yeah. True story. Years ago, I was at the Walker Arts Center, and there was a talk by a musician named Brian Eno, and he had the wireless mic and everything. And at some point during the talk, he had to use the restroom. And so he goes off to the bathroom, but they never turned his mic off. Oh. We heard the whole thing. Bad deal. All right. 14. Okay, thank you.
It was in a movie. Like they stole that story.
Naked Gun. Yes, that was also in Naked Gun. And by the way, Naked Gun's aged great. That movie is still very, very funny.
The new one's great, too.
Is it?
Yeah.
You think so? I'm nervous about that.
I saw it. It was awesome.
It's awesome?
Yeah.
All right, okay, good. I believe you. The bit with O.J. Simpson at the opening scene where he breaks into the ship slays me every time. So funny.
Really slays, doesn't he?
All right, Robbie. All right, Zach. Yes. Welcome back to Fantasy Football Weekly, live from Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Yes, segment number 3. This is called the perfect start. One of the questions we get asked all the time is, where would you like to draft in the first round? Where do you want to be? Well, it's a little bit subjective. Depends a lot on who you like, where you want to be. I've got my preference, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But what we're going to do to try to help you make up your own mind is we're going to show you by average draft position which players typically go at the beginning, the early middle, the late middle, and the end of the first round, and then you can make your own call on it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Each of the hosts has been assigned a draft position. We're going to do this 4-round mock draft, and at the end, you can tell us where you'll be able to vote by applause and tell us where you'd like to draft. So, Matt, you are first. You've got pick number 1. I've got 4. Brian's got 7. Kent has pick 10, and Thor has pick 12.
Yeah.
Of course, Matt got pick number 1.
Well,
how
I
that
mean,
works.
Yeah, who set this up again?
I set this segment up, so yeah.
When you make the
Rigged.
slides, it gets to go that
Yeah,
way.
You get to do whatever you want when you make it up. Yeah.
And
so
he's taking Garrett Wilson.
I wish. Pick number 1. Your realistic choices at pick number 1 right now are Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, and Saquon Barkley.
Who would you take?
I'm going to take Jamar Chase. The running backs are intriguing here, but it feels like I know exactly what I'm getting from Chase. 11 or more PPR points in 16 of 17 games last year, and top 20 in 9 of those games. That's 9 times, Robbie. Plus, Cincy's defense is pretty bad, so they're going to be throwing a lot. So I'm going to go with Jamar Chase.
In the first round.
9 times.
There we go.
Thank you, Robbie.
You're next, Charch.
Oh, I thought we were going all your picks.
No,
Okay,
no, no.
Got you. Okay, right.
Yeah.
I've got pick 4 in the first round, which this makes sense because how a draft usually goes.
Yeah.
With pick 4, I could have Justin Jefferson, Jahmyr Gibbs, or CeeDee Lamb. Now, some of you may have heard of something I call do the opposite. So Jahmyr Gibbs is out. I'm not putting the number 4 pick into a running back. It's just the position's so frail. It's so fraught with danger. These are the guys who fail all the time. And I love Jahmyr Gibbs, and at some point I'd probably take him, but not pick 4. CeeDee Lamb, don't the Cowboys just have the stench of death on them? And granted, they're going to be behind a lot, and their running game is going to be awful, and there's a temptation to go, with that terrible running game, they're going to have to pass all the time. But defenses then don't also have to respect the running game. Things that are bad for the offense don't help anybody, I don't think. I think this is going to be an underperforming team and offense. So with pick number 4, I would choose Justin Jefferson, but in your mind, you can choose whoever you would like. Let's go to pick 7, Brian. Who would you take out of Derrick Henry, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Ashton Genty?
That was a total homer pick, by the way, Charch. But anyway, with this pick, I got to go Ashton Genty. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I like some other wide receivers more than Derrick Henry, but I'm not going to play Sophie's choice with the receivers. I'll hope some come back to me in the second round. I'm going with Genty. The bell cow is a dying breed, but, this is something – I can feel it in my plums, He's going to get that usage. We've seen the rookies. We've seen, it's been Genty, Bijan, Saquon. Those have been the most hyped rookies in the last 10, 12 years. Saquon hit, Bijan didn't. Genty will, behind a much improved offense. Would have been more improved if they went after Sam Darnold instead of Geno Smith. But just give me he's going to get 25 opportunities a game. That's carries and targets minimum. If he doesn't, we riot. Taking Genty.
If Derrick Henry could catch, this would be a different conversation, right? I mean, Genty could be sitting on a 60, 70 catch season is possible, and that changes things for most of us that get a point per reception or some part of it. Pick number 10 as we go down the first round, Kent, between Puka Nacua, Christian McCaffrey, and Malik Neighbors, who would you take?
Yeah, honestly, both of these wide receiver choices are really awesome, but I got to go with Christian McCaffrey here. You are avoiding the danger. I lean into it. You got to risk it to win the biscuit. San Francisco has the easiest strength of schedule this year per Sharp Football Analysis. Kyle Shanahan said he's looking really healthy in camp. Said he ran 25 miles an hour. It's a lie. It's a total lie.
That is not true.
The fastest speed ever recorded in games like 23. So
Kyle Shanahan is a stone-cold liar.
he's full of it. But honestly, I've seen clips. He's looking fresh out there. It's really a bet on health. And honestly, at the 10th spot, you're getting the first overall guy if he stays healthy.
All right, and at the end of the first round and beginning of the second round, picks 12 and 13, Thor, these are the players that you have to choose from, and you get to pick 2 because you're at the turn. Nico Collins, Devon Achane, Brian Thomas, Brock Bowers. What are you doing?
I'm going to take Nico Collins and Brian Thomas Jr. With Achane, I'm a little bit concerned about injury, to be honest. You have a tiny back who had almost 300 touches last year. The Dolphins can't help themselves anymore. They don't have offensive firepower. So they were overusing Achane last year. We know you have to cut down on his touches to keep him healthy. And 300 touches, you look back historically, that has always been the threshold where it accelerates the injury risk the next year. So I don't want him at his cost. Brock Bowers, he's going to see fewer manufactured touches this year now that they have a competent quarterback. And the Raiders have also added more weapons. 2 guys I want, Nico Collins and Brian Thomas Jr. Nico, high floor and high ceiling. Of course, he missed 5 games last year with a hamstring injury, but he finished wide receiver 8 in fantasy points per game. The first 3 weeks when he was healthy and both Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs were on the field, Collins averaged in those games 112.7 receiving yards per game. If he had kept that pace for the whole year, he finishes as wide receiver 3. He's healthy now. Texans are back to full strength. They hope that the offensive line that they've improved that well to see without Tunsil. And then Brian Thomas Jr. finishes wide receiver 11 in fantasy last year. but was wide receiver 2 in weeks 13 to 18. Now you have Liam Cohen coming in, very good offensive play caller, obviously. Trevor Lawrence back healthy. And now you have Travis Hunter around, so you can't just double team Brian Thomas on every play.
All right, let's go farther down the second round. Back to Kent. You're at pick 15. Do you want A.J. Brown or Josh Jacobs?
Yeah, with my running back in place, I'm going to go ahead and take A.J. Brown. He was the second highest graded receiver per PFF last year, a wide receiver 12 in points per game, even though he had a hamstring injury that kind of nagged him for most of the season. He still performed when he was on the field. Last year, the Eagles and Jalen Hurts threw the ball just 361 times. Hurts' 3-year average prior to that was 517, and I think we're going to see some regression back to the mean there, and we're going to see more pass attempts, and that's going to A.J. Brown.
All right. In that photo, it suggests that he's ready to see the dentist. Brian Johnson, we're at pick 18 for you, second round. Do you want Drake London or Bucky Irving? And this is an obvious one that you're going to get totally wrong.
I might appease you on this one, Charge. I said I was hoping for a receiver to come back in the second. Drake London isn't one of them. He had a incredible close to the season last year, but that was partially because Darnell Mooney was injured. And Darnell Mooney is injured to start the season. He might miss week 1. But anyway, I'm going Bucky Irving. He should be going in the first round. And I'm not doing this just to suck up, Charge. But Bucky Irving, this is nuts. Averaged nearly 20 PPR points per game last season. In the 8 games, he saw at least 45% of the snaps.
Yep, basically the second half of the season. Yep.
In his final 4 games, he only saw 63% of the snaps, but he did handle 72% of the rush attempts, 100% of the rush attempts inside the 5. Only 14% of his carries failed to net positive yardage all season. That was the 4th best clip in the league. The word is the Bucs wanted to work Bucky into the passing game more before Rachaad White got hurt. I know you're all about Bucky Irving. I'm taking Bucky Irving over Drake London.
Good call.
10 out of 10 times.
All right, I didn't believe in you, but you've restored my faith.
It only took, how many years?
Back to me, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Allen at pick number 21. I've already got Justin Jefferson. My problem with Jonathan Taylor is he doesn't catch. And at the end of the day, I'd prefer my running backs who can help me out and get that solid floor that catching 3 and 4 and 5 passes a game will do. Jonathan Taylor won't do that. Instead, I'll take Josh Allen, last year's highest scoring quarterback. If I'm going to invest in a quarterback, it's going to be one of the 4 great rushing quarterbacks. Otherwise, I'm going to slough that position quite a ways. But I'm happy to take one of those 4. I'll take Josh Allen here. Matt, you're back to you had the very first overall pick, and you took Jamar Chase. Now we're coming back. You got 2 choices between Lamar Jackson, Ladd McConkey, Kyron Williams, and Trey McBride.
Well, you can make an argument after taking Jamar Chase in the first that I got the best wide receiver. Now I'm going to take the best quarterback in the draft and maybe the best tight end in the draft with Lamar Jackson and Trey McBride. I just did the opposite better than you, Charge.
You did.
Yeah.
Nicely done. I love that. Trey McBride here is a steal.
Yeah.
Good heavens. All right. Now we're into the third round. At this point, I have a choice between Chase Brown and Jackson Smith and Jigba. You've got cheat sheets in front of you. You can see rankings. I like Chase Brown more than anybody, I think, any expert in the country. I've got him as my running back 5, I believe. The second half of last year, when they started throwing to Chase Brown, he was the 5th best PPR back. He ranked number 2 in utilization, and he's on a great offense. He gets all of the work. He gets goal line work. There is nothing not to love about Chase Brown. Love Jackson Smith and Jigba too, but I have a choice between the starting running back on the Bengals or a guy who's kind of log-jammed with Chase Brown and has got Sam Darnold throwing him the ball. And with that, we go to pick 29 and Brian Johnson. Tyreek Hill or Jaden Daniels?
We'll make you eat those words later, Church. You've eaten a lot of words in the past. I went running back. I won't be touching running back for a long time. Quarterback is way too deep. I can get Darnold later. So I'm going Tyreek Hill, shooting for the moon. 2023, historic pace, cut short by injury. People were taking him first overall last year. It was a disaster. This is a boom or bust play, but in the third round, I'll take my chances with Tyreek as my wide receiver 1.
Okay. Staying in the third round, Kent, we are now, middle, late third round. Let's see what you do at pick 34 between Breece Hall and T. Higgins. I already outlined my concerns with the Jets offense, but maybe you feel a little bit better about Breece Hall as a workhorse back.
No, I'm not interested. And in fact, he's still got Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis both nipping at his heels in terms of efficiency. I'm going with T. Higgins here. In the final 7 weeks of the season, he and Jamar Chase both had 7 touchdowns, 1 per week, and he was averaging 9 targets, 81 yards, and he was wide receiver 6 during that period.
9 times.
9 times. Thor, we are back to your final 2 selections as we're in the end of the 3rd, beginning of the 4th round. You have 2 choices among James Cook, Garrett Wilson, George Kittle, and Omarion Hampton.
I'm going to take James Cook and Omarion Hampton. I have no interest in Garrett Wilson. That offense is a joke. George Kittle.
How do you really feel?
George Kittle, it doesn't have anything to do with not liking Kittle's game, but I think I can get sleeper tight ends later. 2 in particular. I think we're going to talk about them a little bit later on. But I don't want to take a tight end early this year because of that. James Cook, last year, 18 touchdowns, 32 catches, 200-plus carries, 1,267 scrimmage yards. Why would any of that change? They haven't added anyone to that decrepit pass-catching core that they have. It's going to be the exact same offense. They might even give Cook more touches this year. And then as far as Omarion Hampton, simply put, he is Jim Harbaugh's wet dream. That's the back that Jim Harbaugh has always wanted to have on his roster, a big hammer back. You can just give him the ball, give him the ball, give him the ball. He's going to touch the ball 250 to 300 times this year.
Now, Harbaugh just, it was Greg Roman this week came out and said, we're going to have multiple backs and everything, but you know what? Omarion Hampton is so much
It's
better.
going to be Omarion Hampton.
I think I'm with you on that. Kent, you have pick 39.
Yeah, I'll make this quick since I already kind of laid out my case for Alvin Kamara, even though you guys didn't support me, and that's okay. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and in the 4th, I think he's a solid RB2. He's going to provide me with PPR value.
Okay, Brian, you've got a choice of Terry McLaurin, Joe Burrow, and Kenneth Walker in the 4th round.
I'm going Terry McLaurin. Last year was wide receiver 30 around this time. I said he'd finish top 10 wide receiver on this very stage. He did. You're welcome. Now getting drafted outside the top 20 just because of a contract dispute that will get settled. Easy pick for a guy that went running back first to Terry McLaurin.
Okay. And I've got an option here in my 4th round with Mike Evans, Chuba Hubbard, Sam Laporta. I think if you've listened to the show much, I hate sloughing the tight end position. Give me a good tight end, and I can sleep nights. I'm not rolling into my Sundays going, oh, good Lord, I hope I can get 3 catches from Cole Kmet. You can't live like that. How do people survive that way? I got to have a good tight end. Sam Laporta is still in the reliable area. Could get even better in year number 3. So I'm taking Sam Laporta out of this group. And Matt, as our final pick of the 4th round, and then we'll turn it over to you, studio audience. We'll let you decide which is the best place to draft from. You've got a choice of Devontae Adams, James Conner, and Rashee Rice.
Well, I'm not going to take the old wide receiver with an injured quarterback or the young wide receiver coming off an ACL and is going to get suspended. So I already did the best do the opposite draft ever. So it's probably time for me to take James Conner, who's just super solid and gets me, double-digit touchdowns just about every year. I'll take James Conner here.
Yeah. Keep thinking that every year's going to be the last for James Conner. His metrics last year were as good as any in his entire career. It looks like he's still got gas in the tank. All right, so let's see who had the perfect start and which draft position you want to go through. So, Matt, run down your selections from pick number 1 through 4.
I had pick number 1 overall. I got Jamar Chase, Lamar Jackson, Trey McBride, and James Conner.
If you love it, make some noise.
It's a pretty good start.
I'd say that's like a 5.
I think people like the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, well, that helps.
Yeah.
I had pick 4. I went Justin Jefferson, Josh Allen, Chase Brown, Sam Laporta.
They seem to also like your draft.
Well, I think they like yours more.
Okay.
I think that's like a 4 out of 10. Next was Brian.
I undid the opposite.
There you
Went a little
go.
retro Ashton Genty. Sorry. Bucky Irving, RB1 overall. And if Tyreek and Terry McLaurin return to form, this is over. Make some noise.
Make some noise
For
for
the
that,
Sam
Ross.
Darnold guy. No one likes me.
That's drafting out of the 7 spot.
We'll see you in January.
Drafting out of the 10 spot, Kent.
Yeah, from the 10 spot, I had Christian McCaffrey, A.J. Brown, T. Higgins, and Alvin Kamara.
Wow.
They didn't like
That's
that.
not even a smattering. If it weren't for that kid back there in the Jaguars uniform, you'd have nothing.
Oh, it's a Dolphins.
That's it.
Yeah.
Dolphins. Dolphins.
Tyreek.
Sorry. And then out of the 12 spot, Thor Nystrom, your team.
Brian Thomas, Nico Collins, James Cook, and Omarion Hampton.
All right.
Well, I think that's our winner. I think people like drafting out of that 12 spot, and they like your execution, Thor. Well
Yeah,
done,
Thor.
my man. We encourage you to try a guillotine league. I've heard good things. You can play 3 different ways. You can play for free in a public league. You can play with your friends in a free private league, or you can play for cash and prizes at guillotineleagues.com. Lots of ways to play. You know how this format works. Just don't be the lowest scoring team in any given week. You can win the whole thing, finishing second to last. The Chop Team's roster goes to the waiver wire. Tons of fun. guillotineleagues.com to find out more. Hour number 2, including the reach around, coming up next. Reminder, we are giving away $1,000 tonight. That's going to be awesome. That's a lot of slot. Well, yeah, and if you do it wrong, that's 1 slot play. That'd be bold. Let's give away some more tickets. We've done a couple of different entertainers, but how about a hotel stay and play package? Let's do 2. A hotel stay and play package. The winner is Robert Stop. Am I close? I think that's it. Hi, Robert. Come on down. You're our winner for the hotel.
Come
stay and
on
play package.
down.
You're the next contestant.
I've always wanted to say that.
All right. And I've got, this is where I need my cheaters. Here you go. Congratulations. Thank you for coming. You can help me with the pronunciation. The steakhouse name is Tado. Tado. The Tado Steakhouse. Who'd like a free dinner for 2? That sounds delicious right now, doesn't it? And if you are Adam Johnson, you could do that tonight. Adam? There you go. All right, my man. All right. Thank you.
Johnsons represent. I got nothing against J.J. McCarthy, by the way. So people get that clear.
All right. I think we are ready for the reach around. Let's do it. Robbie, Zach, are we all systems go? We ready? Welcome back, Fantasy Football Weekly, a live in-person edition at Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Hour number 2. We only do this segment once a year. It is always right here in front of a live audience. It is called the Reach Around. The concept of the Reach Around is a firm yet loving grip on your fantasy draft as we identify players that we would take one full round ahead of where they traditionally go. So these are second round players that we would take in the first round. We will go through 10 rounds of the reach around spread across 2 different segments and tell you the players that we love so much we would reach a full round in advance to get. We begin with round number 2. These are players that we would take in round number 1. We're going to start at the end of the table, at least initially, and work our way this way. Brian Johnson, we'll let you go first. Who would you take which round 2 player would you take in round number 1?
Well, I said I love Bucky. I don't love Drake, but man, Brock Bowers and Trey McBride are going to be major differentiators at tight end this year, and I got to go with Brock. 153 targets last year. That's 5th among wide receivers.
Yes.
112 catches, 3rd among wide receivers. 1,194 yards. That was 8th among wide receivers. The same exact amount of receiving yards as CeeDee Lamb. The Raiders' offense is vastly improved. Brock Bowers is going to sun Rob Gronkowski's prime. This guy is legit. Just to think his ADP plummeted last year because of like one picture where he was just kind of looking a little doofy next to Gronk. But we all bricked that one, man. I got Brock in the 12th round last year.
That's crazy.
Like he fell that far from a picture. And
all right,
Must have been a bad pick.
what else can I say?
Kent, who is your round 2 player you would take in round 1?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Nico Collins. He's just a focal point receiver, and there's just not many of those in the league right now. With the Houston Texans, they have a lack of a dynamic run game going on. Joe Mixon's dealing with an injury. Nick Chubb doesn't look like his former self. Everyone else behind them is just kind of wishy-washy. He's got 2 straight years above a 90 PFF receiving grade. He's a solid dude. I would take him at the end of the first, no
All
problem.
right, Thor, your round 2 player you would take in round number 1.
Brian Thomas, was just mentioning it, but wide receiver 2 weeks, 13 to 18. And now the offense is way, way better. Now you can't double team him. Now Trevor Lawrence is back. Now you have Lee and Cole in there. Love Brian Thomas this year.
I'm going Bucky Irving. You guys know I love him. I've said this before, and it sounds like one of these preseason hot takes. I think Bucky Irving is the most talented running back in the NFL. Here's the metrics to back up this audacious statement. Yards after contact last year, number 1 in the league. Avoided tackle rate, 3rd best. Yards per carry, 4th best at 5.5 yards per carry. 3rd down conversion rate, Bucky Irving, number 1 last year. Rushing yards over expectation, 3rd best. PFF receiving grade among running backs, 2nd best. Bucky Irving is sitting on a monster season. A little bit nervous that there's no left tackle, Tristan Wirfs, at the start of the season, but that's just the start of the season. If this were a guillotine league, it'd be a different story. Regular leagues, love Bucky Irving, and I would take him in the first round. Matt, you want to wrap up our round 2 players we would take in round 1?
Yeah, I got Brock Bowers as well. I just think he might be the best tight end maybe ever.
It's possible.
Better than Dan Arnold?
Better than Dan Arnold.
Yeah, I have to agree.
That is not impossible. All right, it is round 3. Which of these round 3 players would you take in round 2? This time we begin with Kent. We'll work our way down the table here. Kent, who would you take?
Well, I share your love for Chase Brown, and I think the Bengals are going to score a gazillion points this year.
Yep.
6 of his 7 rushing touchdowns last year were between the tackles and against 8 men in the box. So there's still rushing touchdown juice to be squeezed, and I think he's going to explode this year.
All right, notable juice squeezer, Chase Brown, in the reach around. Excellent. Funny how that worked out. Thor, what's the round 3 player you'd take in round 2?
I'm going with James Cook. I can't believe how bad the pass catching core is with Buffalo, and I can't believe they didn't seriously address it. But yeah, that just means a ton more usage for James Cook coming this year. The role is safe. He both catches the ball, and they give him a bunch as a runner. So I'm going to go with James Cook.
Okay. I've already told you how much I love Chase Brown, so I am choosing Chase Brown here. We just talked about. Matt, your round 3 player that you'd take in round 2?
I'm going to take Kyron Williams here. He finished 7th amongst running backs in PPR scoring last season. He scored 16 times last year.
Wow.
You know who scored 15 times last year? Saquon Barkley and Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, going in the first round.
Yeah, Kyron reaching from the 3rd to the 2nd, that seems like a no-brainer.
All right, Brian, you want to wrap up our reach around in the 3rd round?
2 years ago here, I touted Kyron Williams as a dude no one was drafting, Charch, and you mercilessly just gave me crap, and I want an apology.
That is true.
Now. I also got Kyron Williams. I think these stats are even better than the ones Matt shared. Over the last 2 years, 3rd in rushing yards, 2nd in rushing touchdowns, 3rd in yards after contact, 2nd in first down rushes among all running backs. He can catch, he can block, he can pass protect. He just got paid. He has RB1 potential. My first rookie I ever drafted was Marshall Faulk. in 1994.
Wow.
He has Marshall Faulk type potential in this Rams offense.
that's-
Yes,
no,
he does.
Stop it. No, he's
Why not? Yes, he does. All
not
right,
going
all
to
right.
Hall of
I'll
Fame.
see you in January with that one too. Kyron Williams, Matt and I agree for once. Right pick.
I don't think it's a bad pick, but let's not call him Eric Dickerson. That's a bit of a stretch, I think, right there. Kyron Williams. All right, let's go to the fourth round players we would take in the third round, and this time we start with Thor.
Going to go with Omarion Hampton. I already talked about him, so I'll kick it to Charge.
Oh, all right. Well, I also had Omarion Hampton, but I haven't given my bullet points yet. So Najee Harris probably going to be available sooner than later, but I just think at some point the talent rises to the top. We know that Harbaugh and Greg Roman love to run the ball. Greg Roman, in his time as offensive coordinator of the Ravens, ended up finishing with the 5th most total running back carries. Back then, it was a lot of Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, and so they're going to bring that whole running game back. I'm excited for Omarion Hampton and what he can bring. The loss of left tackle Rashawn Slater does worry me, and I did knock him down a couple of spots on that, but that offensive line is still stacked with first rounders. It's still going to be good. It's just not going to be maybe one of the elite offensive lines. So I'm Omarion Hampton here as my reach around player in the 4th round. Matt, who do you have?
I'm probably a little off the board here. I'm taking Kenneth Walker. I'm a big Kenneth Walker guy this year. He's doing some body maintenance in camp and not playing every practice. And he did miss 6 games last year, so his stock is kind of down, and it might drop below the 4th round. But in the 11 games he played, he finished with 16.5 PPR points per game, which was within a point of Kyron Williams and James Cook. Plus, his offensive line looks a lot better, and they changed toward a more run-first coordinator this year.
Yeah.
I think Kenneth Walker is on a really big season this year.
Okay. Brian, who is the 4th round player you would reach around into the 3rd?
I like Kenneth Walker too. He looks great in that Seahawks throwback. How can you not, right? But I'm going with Mike Evans. Safe play here. Despite the age, turns 32 next week, but that's young to me. Topped 1,000 yards in each of his 11 seasons as a pro. Did it twice in college. He probably scored or racked up 1,000 yards per game as a high schooler. It's an easy pick here. It's safe. Has never failed to finish a season under 13.5 yards per catch either. Totally insane. He's still got gas in the tank. Safe pick, Mike Evans for me.
All right. And Ken, what is the 4th round player you're taking in the 3rd round?
I'm going to join Matt, take Kenneth Walker. I'll just add one stat here. He evaded 61 tackles on just 180 attempts last year, which led the league in forced missed tackles per attempt.
Kenneth Walker's just great. I'm tired of the soft tissue injuries. That's all. I think a lot of us have been burned on that.
I'm tired of those too, honestly.
Yeah.
My own.
Yeah, I don't blame you. All right, we're going to go to the 5th round. Which players would you take from the 5th round in the 4th round? And now I get to go first, and it is Courtland Sutton. I love alpha receivers on their team. Guys, I don't have to worry about another receiver taking a bunch of targets away. That's Courtland Sutton on a vastly improved Denver offense. After Bo Nix started cooking in week 6 of last year, Sutton averaged 9 targets.
9 times?
9 times.
9 times.
6 catches per game. And from that week 6 forward, he finished as wide receiver 12, despite Bo Nix in his rookie season. What if Bo Nix gets better as a sophomore? Courtland Sutton's going to be that much better. And who else is going to catch passes? Devon Vele, Marvin Mims are not threats. He's a big physical frame. He's an end zone target. Only Mike Evans averaged more end zone targets per game last year than Courtland Sutton.
Wow.
Matt, your reach around player in round number 5.
I'm going to make this quick because I'm going to gush about him later in the show. Spoiler alert, it's Travion Henderson.
Okay, that was really short.
It was.
Extremely short. All right, Brian, which 5th round player are you taking in round 4?
I'm with you, Charge. Sutton, way too cheap. I'll pile on some good stuff. I'll make it quick. 3rd in the league last year in explosive plays behind Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. He had career highs in catches, yards, receptions of 15-plus yards, and a career high in contested catches. It's only going to get better for Sutton. A true alpha, not getting treated as such. Reach around on Courtland Sutton.
All right, Ken, your round 5 player you take in round 4.
I'm going to go with Devonta Smith for a lot of the same reasons I talked about with A.J. Brown earlier. He was wide receiver 17 in points per game. He was working out of the slot for the most in his career last year. in which case he was graded 7th highest in the league last year in receiving grade.
Okay. And Thor, let's wrap up round 5.
I'm going with Travion Henderson. We were talking earlier about how Devin Achane, the Dolphins are overusing him despite themselves and how they're probably going to run him into the ground. Travion Henderson, when he first went to Ohio State, he was a 5-star recruit out of Virginia. They gave him an enormous workload that first season, put up enormous stats. Sophomore year, they tried to do it again. He got injured for most of the season. Last year, they bring in Quinshon Judkins so they could split the workload. That's where Travion Henderson could be most effective because you're going to guarantee you're going to be healthy. I think the Patriots, though, are not going to be able to help themselves this year. I think they're going to give him a bell cow usage, which is good for fantasy players. We'll find out how long that ends up going. But, yeah, I think he's going to overtake Ramondre Stevenson totally.
All right, well, we'll be talking more about that subject quite a bit later. We've got one more round of our reach around to do in this segment. It's which round 6 players would you take in round 5? Matt, you are up first.
I got TJ Hawkinson here. People are writing him off after missing most of last season with an ACL. He's fully healthy, and the last time we saw him fully healthy in 2023, he was rocking Nick Mullins and Josh Dobbs as his quarterback and had the second most PPR points per game amongst tight ends, 0.1 point behind Travis Kelce that year. He was basically tight end 1 with Nick Mullins and Josh Dobbs for the second half of the year. Rookie quarterback, he's going to be the nookie. Addison gone for 3 games. Hawkinson's going to have a big year.
All right, TJ Hawkinson. Brian, your reach around player in round 6.
Do you just call him the Nookie?
The nookie. Yeah, nookie blankie.
So you can take that cookie?
I did it all for the Nookie. Last week I said Calvin Ridley was going to be a top 10 wide receiver, so easy pick for me here. One of 14 receivers with at least 120 targets and 1,000 receiving yards last season with Will Levis and Mason Rudolph at quarterback. Cam Ward is a big upgrade, even though he's a rookie. Ridley also led all wide receivers in total air yards, nearly 1,900. Only 56% of those were catchable. That clip was far below anyone below him on that air yard list. Sky's kind of the limit for Ridley. He's an easy reach around for me.
All right.
In round 6.
Kent, your reach around player in round 6.
I am joining Brian here with Calvin Ridley, and I just tack on one thing. Cam Ward coming into the fold was the 5th highest pass grade on 20-plus yard throws, totaled over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns last year on deep attempts. Calvin Ridley's going to get a lot of those this year.
Let's effing go.
Boy, the
Don't
crowd
leave me
seems
hanging on
really
deck.
energized by that, Brian.
Yeah. He's not on the
Calvin
Vikings,
Ridley.
but you can still get excited about him, everybody.
There's so many Titans fans here
This is a
today.
fantasy football show, remember.
All right, Thor. Who is your round 6 reach around player?
TJ Hawkinson, been banging the drum for TJ Hawkinson for months now. TJ Hawkinson, his game reminiscent of Colson Loveland, who on the 2023 national title team for Michigan, J.J. McCarthy went to over and over and over again. J.J. McCarthy, the best part of his game as a thrower, 10 to 19 yards down the field between the hashes. That's the thing that Hawkinson's the best at. We have already seen this movie once before. Michigan won the national title, McCarthy to Loveland. McCarthy going to be targeting TJ Hawkinson over and over and over again this year.
I also had TJ Hawkinson, so this
There we
whole
go.
end of the table, TJ Hawkinson love. Are you enjoying the reach around? Would you like more reach around?
That's
Yeah.
a lot of guys who say they would like more reach around.
Yeah, absolutely. When we come back, we'll do the next set of 5 rounds of reach around players coming up next on Fantasy Football Weekly live from Treasure Island Resort and Casino.
When you said my initiation to the show was going to be a reach around, I was worried. This has been awesome.
It's going better than you
It's
expected.
a lot. Well, yeah, better. Yes.
Yeah. Let's give away some more stuff. All right. Can you bring up 2 names, please? 2 names. These are tickets to Bill Engvall. We already gave away 1 set of tickets. This is September 5th at 8 o'clock. Comedian Bill Engvall. And our winner here is Justice Witt. Come on up, Justice. All right. There you go. My pleasure. I didn't have to pay for it. That makes it easy. Lindsay Sterling was one of my daughter's favorite performers for a long time. She's this super cool violinist, and she's coming to town with Hailstorm. What's Hailstorm? Help me out here. Rock band? So we've got a violinist and a rock band.
But calling her a violinist is probably understating it a little bit. It's like electronic. It's awesome.
Yeah, electro violin.
Wasn't Hailstorm the video game in The Simpsons? No, that was Bone Storm.
No, I think that was Bone Storm in The
Bone Storm.
Simpsons.
Yeah.
It was Bonesaw, and he's ready.
Bonesaw's ready.
Well, when does Bone Storm come here?
This is an age 5+ show, so you could bring the kids. This is the 26th of September at 6:30. It's also got an age-appropriate start time. We love that. Hailstorm and Lindsay Sterling. Our ticket winner for that is Anthony Sprung. Anthony? There's Anthony. All right, my man. There you go. All right.
So excited.
You into some electric violin?
Electric violin.
Hey, man, just put him on StubHub. You'll be fine.
Electro violin. You know, maybe you could trade him with somebody who wins our Dane Cook tickets that we're going to give away in the next break. Maybe that's the angle here.
Yeah, I'd stick with those ones instead.
He might be might be putting his name back in the hopper to try to win something else. I don't know. All right.
Did you just play Bonesaw? Wow.
Well, Bone Storm.
Oh.
All right.
What is even happening?
With what?
All the noises in this place, man.
All right.
It's so crazy.
Just go with the flow, bro.
All right. We're just giving Thor a second to take care of business. In the meantime, let's take this opportunity.
He's texting JJ's dad.
He didn't bring his mic with him, did he?
Right. In the meantime, could we take a second to thank Treasure Island Resort and Casino for this? This is awesome. It's free to get in. You got spending money. You got free food. This is a great deal. Somebody's going to walk away with $1,000. Several of you have gotten tickets. This happens because Treasure Island supports the station, supports our listeners at KFAN. So thank you very much. Awesome, awesome. Really appreciate the support from Treasure Island. We love to be here. All right. On that note, maybe we'll roll the dice on Thor getting back between now and when we get to him on the in the reach around. So we'll start our second segment. Zach, you ready? You're ready? Robbie? Yeah. Welcome back. It's Fantasy Football Weekly Live from Treasure Island Resort and Casino. We've got a full studio audience. We get to do this once a year, and we absolutely love it. The other thing we do one time a year is the reach around. These are players we would take one round earlier than when they would normally go, and we are up to round number 6. Who would you take in the 5th round among these 6th round players? And
we already did this round,
6.
Charch.
We're going to round 7.
Yeah.
Which of the?
I was about to say I'm in big trouble. 'Cause, yeah, all right, we're good though. We're good.
It's because you guys did so badly in the last round. I thought I'd give you a do-over. Which of these round 7 players would you take in round 6? Brian, let's start with you.
I didn't think I was going to be liking the Tennessee Titans as much as I do currently, but I like this offense. No, it's not Cam Ward, but I like Tony Pollard here, a steal in round 7. Tyjae Spears is back up, unlikely to be ready week 1. In the 4 games Pollard played last year without Spears, 117 combo yards. He was on pace for 2,000 combo yards. You extrapolate that. Over his career, Tony Pollard's yards after contact per carry, starting in 2019, number 1, number 5, number 5, number 1, number 16, number 6. And Dallas gave up on him, so you know he's good. Tony Pollard should be going 3. I'd reach multiple rounds for Tony Pollard. Oh, double barrel reach around Tony Pollard.
All right. Kent, which round 7 player would you take in round 6?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Mark Andrews here. He was in a friggin' car crash yesterday, 1 year ago.
I did not remember that.
Yeah, dude, it affected him early in the season. He ended the season on a really hot streak when he had 6 straight games with a touchdown, and during that time he out-targeted Isaiah Likely in the red zone 8-3. And recently, Isaiah Likely had surgery on a fractured foot, so I'm taking Mark Andrews. I think he's going to have a huge bounce-back year.
All right. Thor, which round 7 player would you take in round 6?
I'm actually going to go with Jordan Addison here. Now, you're going to have to be confident that you can stream the first 3 weeks, but you can play matchups for that. Jordan Addison's developed really, really good chemistry with McCarthy. Jordan Mason, very slippery route runner, and he's very good at those timing routes. You know, you can trust him to be at the spot and to make the clean cut, turn around the balls there. McCarthy loves working with him so far, so I'm super bullish on Addison.
Jacoby Myers is my pick, an FFW favorite. We love Jacoby Myers, and we identified him as a talent a long time ago, and it's worked out great. Despite some truly awful quarterbacking throughout much of his career, Myers last year posted double-digit PPR points in 9 of the last 11 games. And that was with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew throwing him the ball. The Raiders did draft a bunch of rookies. I don't think any of them are going to be factors anytime soon this season. And Geno Smith is the best passer Myers has had since Tom Brady in New England. You know, Ashton Genty's there, and Brock Bowers is there, but things that help the offense help everybody. It's more trips over the 50, more trips into the red zone, more scoring opportunities, and Jacoby Myers is just super safe. I would take him 1 round early. Matt, let's wrap up the 7th round with you.
I think I'm going to make some history here, and maybe the correct answer is there is no player in this round that you should reach around for. Like, look at this.
Oh,
this
come on.
is gross.
One of these
I
guys,
do not want.
One of these guys is going to outperform his ADP.
I don't want any of these guys in round 7. Why would I reach for them in round 6? No, I'm out.
Boo. Boo.
I don't know if they're booing. I think they're
No better
booing.
advice than not making a pick.
Yeah, don't make a pick.
He's pulling a
you
Minnesota
work for the
Vikings
Vikings?
Grew
fan.
up in Minnesota.
I did
Yeah.
grow up in Minnesota.
What
I
a-
learned from the best.
Mike Tice is the best?
Yes.
The wrong
Enjoy the
By the way,
season.
the wrong answer in this round is Chris Godwin. That's the guy you do not want to take out of this round.
There's a lot of wrong answers in this round.
All right, let's go to the round 8 players that you would take in round 7. We begin with Kent.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ricky Pearsall on the 49ers. In the final 2 weeks of last year, he totaled 18 targets, 210 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns. Took a while to get going last year, but really turned it on at the end. This year, Brandon Ayuk is missing a good chunk at the beginning of the year. Juwan Jennings has a calf injury and a contract issue, and he wants a little bit more money. Maybe that calf injury is money-related. Who knows? But I think Ricky Pearsall is going to start off hot.
All right, Thor, who is the round 8 player you're going to take in round 7?
I'm also taking Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall was shot by a gun last offseason.
By a gun?
By a gun. He had to come back for that. Like, there's a reason that he didn't get going till later on in the season. But like Kent was mentioning, he was pounded with targets the last couple of weeks. And Debo is also gone, right? So everything Kent said. And then Debo is also out of there. Grant Cohn, who's one of the 49ers' top beat reporters, he's been reporting over the last couple of weeks. Ricky Pearsall is the best receiver out here. He's the most explosive receiver out here. He is this team's wide receiver 1. There should be a bigger gap between Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings, in my opinion.
Heck yeah, let's go.
Peppered with targets and peppered with bullets.
Wow. Wow.
Now, George, don't skip me just because I was going to say everyone's favorite former Viking, Stephon Diggs, is who I'm reaching.
Oh, that's who
around
I'm
for.
going for, too. I
Well,
haven't
see,
even
we're-
gotten
Oh, I thought you sorted over there. My
Yeah,
bad.
Yeah, we would come back
Oh,
to you, but no,
okay.
go
No,
ahead,
no,
Brian. By
I'm
all
sorry, I thought we
means,
started with
feel
Matt.
free to jump over
Did we
me.
not start with Matt?
Go ahead, Brian. You got it.
All right,
You
well,
love Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. The end.
That's it.
Wow.
I was mistaken. My
Amazing
bad.
analysis.
That's okay.
Well, no, Stephon. Okay, well, you want me to do it? Stephon Diggs, wide
Yeah.
receiver 38 right now. That's way too cheap. That's the end. His knee looks fine. Drake May is legit. Stephon Diggs.
Well,
I'm sorry for.
You're just
messing up the
really
rundown.
eager
All right.
to reach around, man. That's all.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
I am taking Cleveland tight end David Njoku, who's got these cool zebra dreads. That's awesome. Look at him right there.
Just like one stripe, Charch.
well,
You
that's,
need
it's
need
not
multiple stripes.
It's a
to be
small part
zebra.
of a zebra right
Yeah.
there. Last year, once they finally got rid of Deshaun Watson, Njoku was great. He was tight end 6 in PPR scoring, tight end 4 in utilization rank, and tight end 1 in end zone target percentage. And for Njoku, remember, Joe Flacco's his probable starting quarterback, unless it turns out Shadur Sanders is so good that he has earned the job. And then we'll be talking about how rookies love their nookie tight end, Matt, and we'll get back to that anyway.
Yeah.
But a reminder that Flacco was in Cleveland 2 years ago at the end of the year for those 6 magical games. Here is what David Njoku averaged in those 6 games with Joe Flacco. 9 targets,
9 times.
6
times.
receptions, 81 yards, and 0.7 touchdowns per game. How good is 6 receptions, 81 yards, 0.7 touchdowns per game? That would have made him tight end 1 last year. That's David Njoku.
All right.
Yeah, you can certainly applaud for any of my selections. Totally cool if you're on board with that. Matt, who is your pick in round 8?
Surprise, it's Stephon Diggs. And really, my theme for the next couple of rounds is going to be get the wide receiver 1 with quarterbacks I like, and I like Drake May a lot, so we're going to take Stephon Diggs.
I'm with you on Drake May. I think he's sitting on a great year. Brian, we would have normally gone to you right here, but instead.
Stephon Diggs, yeah, that sounds about right.
Right, exactly. Let's go to the round 9 players we would take in round 8. We begin this time with Thor.
Oh, I'm going with Tyler Warren for sure. I don't want the early tight ends because I want Tyler Warren wherever I can get him. Tyler Warren is this year's Brock Bowers. They got him because they don't have other people to give the ball to. They're going to manufacture all kinds of touches for Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren last year at Penn State, they do end arounds for him. They'd have him in on gadget plays. He's a former quarterback from the state of Virginia. He transitioned to tight end when he got on campus at Penn State. Took him a couple years to bulk up and everything like that, but obviously last year he had the enormous breakout season. They, again, manufactured touches within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're going to use him around the goal line as a runner. I think Daniel Jones is going to be as a runner.
Tyler Warren. Okay.
Tyler Warren, yeah, like the short yardage stuff. The reason Tyler Warren wore 44 at Penn State is because he and his dad grew up idolizing John Riggins. And if you watch that kid run, that's how he runs. That's how they're going to try to manufacture yards this year in Indianapolis. So I'm going to take Tyler Warren, especially for PPR leagues. Like he's going to get over 100 targets this year, Tyler Warren.
Wait, he plays quarterback? Or he did? He's probably the best quarterback on the Colts, too.
Might be, actually. Might be.
I like that eligibility, multi-eligibility.
More accurate than Anthony Richardson, certainly.
I don't hear anybody applauding for you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Thor.
Oh, okay. Well, there it is. All right.
Thanks.
So the reason I picked Emeka Egbuka is because you talked me into him, Thor. You loved him. And he's got a wide open opportunity in Tampa because Chris Godwin's going to start on the PUP list. He's going to be, I think he's permanently lost his job to Emeka Egbuka, who's the most pro-ready receiver in this rookie class, hyper-productive for years at Ohio State. He ran 81% of his routes from the slot last year at Ohio State. That's a Thor number I'm stealing from him. And that puts him right into that Chris Godwin role last year where Godwin was going berserk running from the slot in this offense. I love Emeka Egbuka, and I think he's sitting on a really good season because you told me so, Thor, and now you turn your back on him.
He's super polished, too. And by the way, Baker Mayfield, you watch his offseason interviews, Baker Mayfield's been going nuts about Emeka Egbuka. You can tell, like, when the guy's for real, when the teammates are like, no, trust me, this guy's a stud. Yeah. Baker Mayfield's doing that with Egbuka.
Yeah, they always say good things, but you can tell when players go, like, way over the top.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we're getting here. Yeah. All right, Matt, you're going to pick a guy this round, or are we just going to kick back and say not applicable?
Speaking of turning your back on people, you've turned your back on Khalil Shakir.
Oh, what's wrong with me?
He's sitting right here.
Yes.
Khalil Shakir, the #1 wide receiver in Buffalo. Now, granted, they don't have a lot of great wide receivers in Buffalo, but it's the Josh Allen offense. I'm going to take that in the 8th round all day long.
Absolutely. We love Khalil Shakir around here. Brian, who is the 9th round player you're taking in the 8th round?
Speaking of turning your back, you turned around yesterday and showed me your Jordan Mason tramp stamp on your back, and you're not picking him either? Like, what's going on here? Are you all right?
Technically, I didn't have to turn around to show you that.
Charch wants to do lots of reach-arounds in round 8 here.
I like Mason, but I'm going to go Quinshon Judkins. Time to reverse course. He's not going to face legal charges. He's the most talented running back on the Browns. It's going to take him a little while to get ramped up, but by week 3 or 4, he's going to be getting 20 opportunities a game, so I'm taking Judkins here.
All right, Kent, and your round 9 player, you're taking round 8.
Well, I can't believe I'm going to be the one to take Jordan Mason here. I'm surprised more of you didn't do it because he was 3rd in rushing yards over expectation per attempt last year, behind only Barkley and Henry, which are 2 pretty good running backs.
Yeah.
And he's at a career 5.3 yards per carry on 236 rushing attempts. If that were a season, he'd be on a list of about 40 people, and most of them are Hall of Famers. He's going to be awesome next year.
Okay. Let's go to round number 10. I think this is, I think I am up for this one. Now, I know Thor is not going to like this selection, and that's just fine. It's Ramondre Stevenson is the round 10 player I would reach for in round 9. Everybody's talking about Travion Henderson, and rightfully so. He looks fantastic. You saw the 100-yard touchdown. You saw the one carry he had where he zipped down the sidelines for 18 yards, the 3 catches. Henderson's going to be good. Stevenson is going to get a ton of work here in this offense, and he's going to be the inside between the tackles runner. He's going to get a lot of use. He's going to get goal line use. And here's the real clincher in this Thunder and Lightning offense that I want you to remember about Stevenson. Josh McDaniels, as an offensive coordinator or head coach for 18 years, has had a workhorse back in one of them. And it was his first year in an offense he inherited that had Steven Jackson, for you old-timers, and Steven Jackson was already a star workhorse back. Since then, 17 straight seasons as offensive coordinator head coach, it's always been a split backfield, and it's going to be again here with Ramondre Stevenson. All right. You with me on this? Yeah, all right.
I don't think they are.
Didn't sell it.
Let's get a big round of booze one time
Yeah,
for
right.
Charge.
Yeah.
Some groans.
Just because you don't like the answer doesn't mean it's wrong.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Matt.
This is where I usually start taking quarterbacks in drafts, and I think it's Ramondre Stevenson's teammate. It's Drake May. Rushing upside, there's avenues to protect him now with some good draft picks they've invested in the offensive line. The offense is way better.
Offensive line. Speaking of which, Will Campbell, we've only seen one preseason game.
Beast.
Oh, God, was he good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I
my
don't want
gosh.
to read too much into it, but as good as Travion Henderson was, Will Campbell might have been better. He was awesome.
The Patriots are a team that everybody in the country hates, and they're going to make a big leap this year because I've taken 3 of them in the reach around now.
Because you've taken
Yeah.
him. Yes, absolutely. All right, Brian, who's your round 10 reach-around player?
I'm not leaving the draft without Zach Charbonnet right now. Averaged over 19 PPR points per game as a starter last year. It was a small sample, only 3 games, but that clip would have made him RB2 on the season in 8 games in his career without Kenneth Walker, who always seems dinged up with soft tissue issues. Charbonnet's averaged over 17 PPR points per game. And yes, Matt had a great stat about Kenneth Walker leading the league in avoided tackle rate last season. Zach Charbonnet was right behind him, number 3. He's the cheaper option for the Seahawks, who bolstered their line over the offseason. They brought in Clint Kubiak, whose zone scheme very running back friendly. Zach Charbonnet is a smash pick right now. Reach around for him.
All right, Kent, your round 10 player, you taking round 9.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Drake May, and just to add to that a little bit, in games where he played 80+% of snaps, he was pacing for 653 rushing yards on the year. Quarterbacks that use their legs are just inherently more valuable in fantasy, and at the value, I'm just loving it right now.
Okay. And Thor, I think you're the last one for this round.
Yeah, I'm going to take the least sexy name on this list. I'm going to take Javonte Williams, who I would forward to you is actually a sleeper this year. And the reason why, Miles Sanders stinks. We all agree.
Yep.
Not usable anymore. And then the other thing, the Dallas Cowboys, in one of the most loaded running back classes draft classes I've seen in the last 20 years, managed to take 2 of the grenades. Jadon Blue is not good. I see Jadon Blue hype out there. Jadon Blue couldn't start for the Texas Longhorns last year when they only had 3 scholarship running backs on the roster all season that were healthy. He was immediately overtaken by Quintavious Wisner. Steve Sarkisian, one of the best play callers we had in college football, did not want to use Jadon Blue. And then Phil Moffitt's just a big plotter. They don't have another competent running back. Javonte Williams barely qualifies, but he's far better than the other 3. Javonte Williams.
All right, our final round of reach-around players. And, guys, we got to go quickly on this round to keep ourselves on time. We begin with Matt Harrison, who is the round 11 player you would take in round 10.
It's J.J. McCarthy. Sam Darnold was a great fantasy player last year. The Vikings obviously think that J.J. McCarthy is a better player than Sam Darnold, or Sam Darnold would still be here. In KOC, we trust.
And for rebuttal, we go to Brian Johnson.
Sorry, I made the round.
That was easily the worst fantasy football take I've ever heard in my entire life. Worse than not picking a player. No, holler at the guy in the Tank Bigsby jersey over here. I think he was here last year. It's Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, baby.
5th in avoided tackle rate last season. Travis Etienne back to lead back, it seems, but that ain't true. It's Tank. It's the Tank show, right, Charch?
It's Tank Bigsby time. Yeah, it is. Kent, who's your round 11 player you're going to take in round 10?
I'm ready to be hurt again. It's Kyle Pitts. It's
Oh,
just, the value.
you're the guy.
Oh, no.
Not too good.
You're the one that hasn't drafted him yet, so
Yeah,
you
well-
haven't been hurt yet?
No, I have been hurt, but he's going 70 to 80 spots later than last year, and he was tied 5th in deep targets last year. Penix had a deep rate of 15% compared to Cousins' 9, so I'm just going to see a little bit more upside from him this year.
All right, Thor, we don't need to even spend time on who you're selecting here, obviously.
It's JJ.
That's right.
It's JJ.
Yes. Going deep old school fantasy football weekly. People were injured. Our listeners do not forgive easily.
Nope.
No, absolutely not. When we come back, our final round, including our sleepers of the week and 3 tough questions. The final segment of Fantasy Football Weekly coming up next.
Oh boy, Brian. No, I'm putting the cam.
Someplace.
I'm putting it on the table.
There's a power strip right under your car.
Where you are?
Right under you. Right under my seat. Yeah. Here, I'll show, because it's like, this is what I've been going through during the show. So from there down.
Were you all satisfied with the reach around? Whoa.
Hey, let's give away some tickets. Yeah. So, people not so hot on Lindsey Sterling. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to apologize for giving away tickets. I think she's good. Again, September 26th at 6:30, family-friendly event, ages 5 and up. Can we get 2 names, please? Thank you. Thank you for your help. What's your name? Ellie? Thank you, Ellie. Appreciate that. For better or worse, our winner is Mike Schrebel. Hi, Mike. You're a big electro violin guy, right? Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you've got grandkids. My daughter, honestly, my daughter loved Lindsey Sterling. Loved her. Here we go.
Well,
right there.
buy the tickets
Thank
off
you.
them.
Appreciate you coming. Thank you very much. I appreciate the loyalty, Mike. All right. And our first of 2 Dane Cook giveaways starts with Tim. Oh, boy. Tim, you already know it's you, I'm imagining. And as a side note, unrelated, while Zach is endeavoring to get this ready, for everybody who loves comedies with a laugh track, and your fallback is, well, it's filmed in front of a live studio audience, remember, you could be seeing the 17th take, and there was nobody laughing at that same joke on the 17th take. And this is always my bit on the Employee of the Month. Good luck, Chuck, and my best friend's girl. Movies don't have laugh tracks, right? Because you don't need them.
Only the worst ones.
Only the worst ones. Winner of our second pair of Dane Cook tickets is Matthew Baker.
Dude, this guy's a Matt with one T.
He is.
Yes!
A Matt with one T. Oh, that's your man right there. All right, Matt. There you go. 49ers fan.
All right, Zach seems to be giving us thumbs up.
Okay. And that wraps up the reach around. You all feel satisfied?
Yeah!
Yeah!
Whoa!
Wow!
They're way more satisfied than I anticipated.
Wow.
That's fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, the final segment of this Fantasy Football Weekly, in which we'll recap all of my wrong picks over the years, coming up next, including our sleepers and 3 tough questions. Stay tuned. Well done. Well done.
That was incredible.
That was really good.
Wow.
That was really good. It almost seemed like you meant it. I don't know what I did on this. I've never not used PowerPoint for slides. This is all very weird to me. I'd like to get this going. Pause, reset. How do we set a whole timer on this? That's just the timer. Right, dude. You would think double clicking that would work. All right, there we go. It is close. Yep, no problem. Here's some boring inside radio stuff. The show's syndicated, carries on KFAN, as you know, but other stations also pick it up. And we have to be at exactly 44 minutes and 30 seconds per hour. And that means the final segment has to be whatever the difference is of our first 2 segments.
So that's why our Monday night matchups are usually like, this guy gets an A grade and this guy gets a B grade and we're out.
Yeah, that last one. Yes, that last matchup goes really fast because we're usually running long on time because we love to hear ourselves talk. So what we're doing right now is we're calculating the time in the last segment, and then we'll get that started up, and we'll do our 3 tough questions.
I noticed the Colin McCockney shirt out there.
Colin McCockney's got it.
I wish he was here, man. That would be great.
That would be great. Yeah.
I hear he's got an Irish friend this year.
Oh, I can't wait to meet
It's just
somebody O'Brien.
Colin O'Cockney.
You know that scene in Casino when they bring the dude back and they smash his hand? I would love to see that happen to Colin McCockney.
Wow. Why would they wish harm
I'm
on
glad
Colin
he's not
McCockney?
here.
It's just Brian.
No, I think there's like 2 people like Colin McCockney, and neither are Colin McCockney.
All right, well, let's get our audience members right here. Do you love Colin McCockney? Oh. Do you want to smash Colin McCockney's hand? Well, there you go.
There's a little violence in here.
That's all we needed.
Not as much as Brian wants, though, apparently.
Well,
So,
you know, knowing Colin for many years, it's been a long, long time.
did you say 24? Okay. I don't know.
Robbie's going to use a
Rob,
calculator
Rob,
now.
We'll figure it out. See, to work in radio, math, not your long suit. So tricky things like subtraction end up being a little bit harder. Yep. And I can make that joke because I got a journalism degree.
Hey, me too.
9 minutes.
9
Oh
times.
boy. So this is going to be a speed version, guys, for this. Yep. Okay. We're going to do sleepers first. We'll do
Because those are more important, right?
those are more important than the 3 tough questions, right? You want the deep sleepers. 3
All right.
bullet points. You're targeting about 15, 20 seconds per person. Okay. Don't talk faster. Say less. Okay.
I've heard that so many
Many
times in
Hey,
14 years.
Yes. that is the recurring theme.
I haven't been looking, but have the people seen this one too? Have you been even?
Oh, I've been given that over here.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention.
Yeah,
So
I've
that's
seen a lot.
I've had bad dreams about that.
Sleepers are not in the slides, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
That's okay. All right, good. I just want to make sure I didn't need to go into that.
Nah, you're good.
All right.
Roberto, we ready?
That's it? Are you sure? Yeah, we actually added more time on. Okay.
One tough question.
Yeah, yes, it might be. It's going to be up to 3 tough questions.
We could do the second and third tough questions just for the people here.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, this might be. That might be. Welcome back. Final segment of Fantasy Football Weekly Live.
This has been an awesome crowd today.
This has been a fantastic
You guys are
crowd.
great.
So much fun. In this segment, we're going to hit on our sleepers. We'll get to as many tough questions as we can. And for our sleepers, we begin with Brian Johnson.
I want to pronounce it right. Again, I love the Titans more than I thought, so I'm going with rookie wide receiver Elik Ayomanor, who was drafted in the 4th round, has looked great in camp. Very good chance he wins the starting job opposite Calvin Ridley. I'm not worried about Tyler Lockett, but one thing that stood out to me, other than his good size, 6'2", 205, faced Travis Hunter in college.
Yeah.
13 catches, 294 yards, and 3 touchdowns
Wow.
for Elik
game.
Ayomanor.
Yes.
Draft him
Couple
in
of
the
years
last
ago.
round. Thank
Yep.
me later.
I'm with you on that. All right, Kent, your sleeper of the week.
Yeah, I talked about him earlier. Drake May is going to be my sleeper here, and so the rushing upside is obviously there. He's got more weapons around him this year, and it sounds like he's cleaned up a lot of his accuracy and errant throw problems. Last year he had 16 turnover-worthy plays, 12 of which were early in the season. He only had 4 from Week 11 down to the end of the season. They have the second easiest strength of schedule.
All right, Drake May, I'm with you on that 100%. Thor, who is your sleeper this week?
I'm going with Lions wide receiver Isaac Tesla. He's too talented to keep off the field. Tim Patrick ain't going to be keeping this kid off the field. He's going to be starting right away. 6'4", 214 pounds, 95th percentile vertical, 94th percentile broad jump, 95th percentile shuttle, and 3-cone, 83rd percentile. 99th percentile size-adjusted athlete, Isaac Tesla. He was caught in a bad situation at Arkansas, but he can both get down the field and get off the carpet and go and get the ball. And you can also manufacture touches for him, which you're already starting to see in the preseason.
My sleeper this week is New Orleans tight end Juwan Johnson, as a great option for your second tight end. Yeah, you can feel free to cheer that if you want. Just signed a 3-year, $30 million contract because clearly the Saints believe that he is going to be somebody they'll use. Taysom Hill will not play this year. Johnson's coming off career highs in targets, catches, and receiving yards. And that depth chart in New Orleans gets real thin real fast. They got Olave, they got Shaheed, nobody else. young quarterbacks love to dump off to their tight ends. Juwan Johnson, I believe, will be a relatively safe weekly starter. Matt, our final sleeper of the week.
I feel like it's the last possible moment to use Travion Henderson as a sleeper, as most diehard fantasy fans have already figured this out. But for those of you who haven't yet, he's a rookie. He plays for the Patriots, and he's an absolute stud. He averaged 7.0 yards per carry last season, including 4.4 yards after contact, 11 yards per catch. He's a great pass blocker. He holds on to the ball, too. Only 2 fumbles in his whole college career, and he hasn't fumbled a ball since 2022. This guy's going to be awesome.
All right, there you go. 5 sleepers of the week. You normally only get 3, but this week we get 5. Let's go to up to 3 tough questions. I don't think we're going to have time for all 3, but we'll start here. Tough. Wait.
Tough question number
1.
One. What is the biggest mistake commissioners can fix at this time of year in advance of your fantasy season? Kent, we're going to begin with you for this one.
Yeah, so maybe not a mistake, but an improvement. If you're drafting in front of a computer screen, that's fine, that's fun. But plan an in-person draft. It is worlds better. You got the banter, the jokes. You can make fun of each other's picks. It's what we're here for. We're here live. Why not draft live?
Yeah, I'm flying to my drafts to be in person. Absolutely true. Thor, what's the one thing commissioners can fix at this time of year?
For me, it's clarifying league rules. You know, it's the biggest pain in the butt if you're the commissioner to write out all the rules. But it's the thing that avoids, people going at each other later on.
Friendships end over this stuff.
Yeah, if you have clearly written out league rules, it saves you a lot of headache.
Matt, what is the biggest mistake commissioners can fix at this time of year?
Change to an auction. It's so much fun. No one ever goes back. If you're afraid to do it, and that's why people don't do it, because there's 3 or 4 people who are just afraid to do it, here's what you do. Set up a dummy auction. Just set up a strange league with just your teams in your league and say, we're just going to do an auction. It's a fake league. Do it on Sleeper, do it on Yahoo, whatever. And they'll be hooked. Everybody in 20 minutes will figure it out. They'll be hooked. You'll never go back.
Yeah, I've always said, just tell your league, if you've got, you'll have a couple hesitant owners, tell them we will try it 1 year, and if we don't love it, we'll go back. Nobody goes back.
Nobody goes back.
Nobody goes back.
And we can combine our ideas and get a real auctioneer up there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? The correct answer is...
what about Brian?
Oh, Brian. I'm sorry. Brian.
I don't want to answer this
man,
question.
you're going to be in trouble
The
now.
correct answer is Sam Darnold.
It is. It is. That you should draft in Superflex. If you're not playing Superflex with your friends and family, unless your league is 16 teams or something, ditch the 1 quarterback, because that is
100%.
incredibly stale format.
I don't think we got any wrong answers here, Charch.
There are no wrong answers, but it is not the best answer. It's not yet been said. If you are awarding free agents in any fashion other than free agent blind bidding, you are doing it wrong. That is the only fair way to award free agents is free agent blind bidding.
I saved that one for you.
That is the best system. I don't know how much time we've got for tough question number 2.
Tough question number 2.
But we'll give it a try. In auctions, would you rather spend your dollars to create a roster of stars and scrubs, expensive players and cheap players, or a full roster of middle-tier guys? Thor, we start with you.
I'm going for the latter. I'm always the guy that will trade down in picks. I want to accumulate more middle round picks. It's the same philosophy with auctions, but it helps me to stream in the season. Also gives me more bullets to potentially run into someone that way outplays their ADP. So that's what I do.
If your roster is 16 players or fewer, go stars and scrubs. If it's 17 or more, go middle tier guys.
That's a very specific answer. And unfortunately, we have run out of time. I want to thank everybody. I know it's a very abrupt ending, but this is just the reality is we're out of time. Thank you so much for coming to Fantasy Football Weekly Live. This has been awesome. Thank you, Treasure Island, for hosting this wonderful event. And we will talk to you all next week for more Fantasy Football Weekly.
Do we want to finish?